but I'm going to start with footwear, specifically boots.
Okay.
And the thing about boots, and this is any boot, is that it's got to be chunky. It's got the bigger the better, the gnarlier, the more lugs sold it is, the taller it is, just the more kind of like outrageous and extreme it looks. That's where we're going. We're at boot maximalism. And I think the boots that personify this the most are probably the Bottega Veneta tire boots that have kind of dominated for a fall or two now here.
People are gonna
Uh,
hear me clopping up if I get anything like this.
they will. And
Oh,
another
by the way, if you are somebody who's like, I wish I could see what he's talking about right now. This is the reason you should go to youtube.com/Sunday Scaries podcast,
That's
where you
right.
can see Barrett scrolling through all of this on the screen right now.
But so here's an article from earlier this year from GQ. Front and center is the Bottega tire boot, and then I also have an editorial pulled up from Net-a-Porter, where again, nearly the exact same boot is also pictured for women. So great example of how this kind of crosses over. Um, Another thing that I like about this trend is that even though the through line is this big chunky boot, you can kind of take it in any direction you want. So if you like want to get crunchier with it, there's like all sorts of hiking boots that
Yeah.
have like these bigger soles, and then they'll also get like you'll get the lacing systems with the metal eyelets and maybe like a colored lace and something cooler like that. If you want to keep it really dialed in, there's like plenty of like Chelsea boot options. If you're more grunge, you like flannels, ripped jeans, that type of stuff. There's Doc Martens and like the combat boot kind of aspect of it. And then even for our fellow Texans and like Southern state people that don't actually get cold enough weather to wear any of this stuff until December at the earliest, there's plenty of like loafer options as well that do the big soles or the lug soles or something like that. A lot of great pairs from Isabel Marant, Doc Martens, like I just mentioned.
Mhm.
So there's a ton of options here, a lot of different ways that you can go with it, and for women, it's also pitched as essentially going with anything, whether you're doing that girl oversized blazer tailoring or Gigi Hadid style athleisure, or if you're just kind of like making you're doing something very feminine like a floral dress or something like that, a midi dress, you can still do a chunkier boot and kind of like make it more capital F fashion.
What if I'm just like a generic dude who wears, hypothetically, of course, speaking, I'm just some generic dude that wears like, I don't know, Lululemon chinos every day to work, and I want to get some chunky boots. Like, what kind of upgrades do I need to make in order to accommodate some of these chunkier boots?
Well, so I'm going to go the reverse with it. How about what boot do you need to follow this trend and not have to make too many adjustments?
There you go.
How about
Okay.
that?
Okay.
So I mentioned how this can be like a hiking boot type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw up two different versions of this that are kind of like, one's the fashion version, and one will be essentially like what inspired this. So the first one is this. I'll start with the expensive fashion iteration of this. This is called the Wilson boot from Reese Cooper, one of my favorite designers.
Okay.
And this is just like a straight up take on a classic hiking boot.
Yeah, this is what you would see. I mean, this is a much more modern version of what you would see. Like, I mean, if you're looking through old school ski photos of people from like way back,
Yeah,
like that's the kind of boot that you would see, and it's a classic silhouette.
It does. It's got that like that bigger cutout on the sole, which, like you're saying, is very vintage, and almost a nod to like original ski boots. And then one of the things that you're getting here is like a super specialized Vibram sole, and then really cool color options. And then each of these boots is going to come with like 3 different pair of laces. It's got this kind of funky lacing system, so you can do all this crazy stuff with it. But let's say you're not ready to spend $600 on the fashion version of this and like buy a bunch of like oversized baggy cargo pants to go along with them. Boom! Right here we have a Merrell hiking boot that looks awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is you can probably walk into REI and find a pair of these. They're $120. They'll last you years. And Merrell, which actually, as it happens, it is doing some collaborations with Reese Cooper, or has some collaborations with Reese Cooper coming up. Check out the sole. It's still a Vibram sole. You're getting a really like, on trend, earthy suede colorway. There's a reason why this boot is already like, running out of
My
sizes,
size is
basically.
gone.
Yeah.
My size is gone. I
Uh,
do like this.
but so this is there's a leather option, there's a black option, if that's your vibe. And Merrell's not the only brand that has this type of boot, but that's where we're going here. If you just want to like get in on this, but kind of keep your standard, more traditional wardrobe
Okay.
alive.
Okay. I think that makes sense for me. I am not I'm still so hesitant on like the wider pants.
Yeah.
I'm not buying I'm done buying pants that are slim fit, but I'm still hesitant in going above just like the kind of, whatever
Right.
fit.
Well, I mean, even a straight fit feels very modern right now. Like you don't have to buy like the big chino from
Exactly.
J. Crew,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to look like you know what you're doing. The other thing about this aspect, for men or women, if you go kind of like the chunkier like hiking boot range, but really with all these, the shoes that I get the most wear out of, the reason why at the current moment you can usually find me in like a pair of Solomon trail sneakers, and for you like your Nike Pegasus,
Mhm.
like if it can stand up to any weather and I don't have to worry about like ruining them, I'm wearing them all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing those Nike Pegasus right now, and I went back to go buy another pair because I wear them so often that
Yep.
I was like, even if it's a different color, they are sold out of like everything in my size. But I mean, I I don't know. Yeah, I totally agree. Knowing that these have held up so well throughout all the times that I've been wearing them, it makes me more likely to wear them and just randomly throw them on because I know that they will stand up to everything, and they've done so, and they still don't look very like tattered or bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
And hiking boots will do that exact same thing for you unless
yes.
unless you're in a place that's like, don't get swayed if you're living in New York City and expect them to last for like 5 seasons.
Yeah, or at least be okay with a little bit of dirt and splatter that does happen to stain them. Also, get yourself some suede spray. But for those that are just listening, that was the men's Moab 2 deconstructed mid by Merrill One Trail. If you need to pull that up on your phone right quick, and you don't have the email or the video up to see it.